Hey guys, welcome back to our channel Stock My Closet. For today's project, I have taken cotton fabric. This is 2.25 meter and this is 1 meter. And this is the measurement I'm using. You can adjust it according to your requirement. Firstly, I'll cut the back bodies. And for that, I've cut out the required length. That is 13 inch, including 1 inch for seam allowance. I'm making empire waistline. And for that, we take body's length just below the bust. So I have taken it 12 inch and I have added 1 inch for seam allowance. And I have folded the fabric once in width. Now I'll mark the measurements. For shoulder, take half of shoulder width. In my measurement, shoulder width is 13.5 inch. Half of it is 6.75 inch. Neck width is 3 inch. Mark half inch downwards for shoulder slope and join it to the neck width point. From this point, mark half of armhole round, that is 7 inch in my measurement. I'm deducting half inch as this is sleeveless. I'll just extend this point. Mark 1 inch inwards. From the top, mark a point at 10.5 inch shoulder to bust measurement and 12.5 inch. Now I'll mark the round measurements. For chest, I'm adding 2 inch of ease. In my measurement, chest round is 31 inch. 31 plus 2 is 33 and dividing it by 4, I'll get 8.25 inch. For bust, I'm adding 3 inch of ease. In my measurement, bust round is 32 inch. 32 plus 3 is 35 and dividing it by 4, I'll get 8.75 inch. For this, you need to take under bust round measurement. And in my measurement it's 29 inch and I'm adding 2 inch of ease, so 29 plus 2 is 31 and dividing it by 4, I'll get 7.75 inch. Give slight curve to this pointed shape, adding seam allowance. Now I'll draw armhole curve. So this is the marking for back bodies. Now I'll cut it. So I've cut back bodies. Now I'll cut the front bodies. For front bodies, I need to cut the pattern. So I have traced and cut back bodies on the another fabric. This is center line. I'll mark neck width on both sides, that is 3 inch. Neck depth is 7 inch, adding half inch for seam allowance. Again mark neck width point. Now I'll draw neckline shape. Extend it to the waist. Now I'll cut it. So I've cut the pattern. Now I'll cut it on the front bodies. I've placed the pattern on the front bodies and I've added 0.25 inch for seam allowance on this side. Now I'll cut it. I've cut it out. So this is front bodies. Now I'll cut the bottom. For bottom, I'm making half circle skirt, and for that we need radius, which will be waist round plus ease divided by 3.14. So in my measurement, waist round is 29 inch. I'm adding 2 inch of ease. Just add same ease you added in the body's waist. So 29 plus 2 is 31, and dividing it by 3.14, I'll get 9.5 inch round figure. Now I have folded the fabric by half in length. Now from the top corner, I'll mark the radius, that is 9.5 inch. Mark the same point till the other end. Adding 0.25 inch for seam allowance. From waist, I'll mark the bottom length, which will be full length of dress minus body's length. In my measurement, full length is 42 inch and body's length is 12 inch. So 42 minus 12 is 30. So bottom length is 30 inch. I'm adding 1 inch for seam allowance. So I'm marking point at 31 inch. Now measure the same from the top corner. This is around 40.5 inch. Now keep the measuring tape on the top corner and mark the same point till the other end. So marking is complete. Now I'll cut it. So I've cut the bottom, and with this cutting is complete. Now I'll stitch it. Firstly, I'll finish front neckline using cord piping or dory piping, and for that I've cut out bias tape from the contrast fabric and I'm using this cord. Place cord on one side of the edge and fold it over like this. Now make stitch as close as you can to the cord, and for that I'm using this zipper foot. Now I'll attach the cord piping with the body's neckline. Now place wrong side of cord piping on the right side of the bodies. Again make stitch close to the cord. Fold the other edge of the piping and make a stitch. So I made a stitch. Now trim the excess fabric. I've trimmed the fabric. Now fold the piping towards the wrong side of the bodies and make a stitch on the neckline edge. So I made a stitch. Now I'll make another stitch to secure the piping fabric on the back side. So I have attached the piping. Now similarly I'll attach it on the other part of the neckline. I have attached piping on both sides. Now join both pieces and pin it up. I have prepared these tassels. I'll just insert and I'll stitch it together, and the other one on the opposite side of this dori. I made a stitch on the neckline and I've also attached dori on both sides. Now place the back on the front, right sides together, and stitch shoulder slope on both sides. I have stitched shoulder slope on both sides. Now I'll finish armholes with piping as I did for the neckline. So I've attached piping on both armholes. Now I'll stitch the side fitting seam. So I've stitched side fitting seam, and with this bodice is ready. Now I'll finish the bottom round of the skirt. Just double fold the seam allowance and make a stitch on the inner edge. So I finished the bottom round. Now make small cuts on the skirt waistline. Now I'll finish the side fitting seam on the skirt. Now I'll attach bodice and bottom, and for that take wrong side of the bottom and right side of the bodice. Insert bodice into the bottom like this. Match center and side fitting seams. Now I'll make a stitch on the waist round. I made a stitch. Now I'll overlock it. And with this, my tunic style kurti is ready, and this is how it looks. By using these patterns, you can give stylish as well as elegant look to your regular salwar kurti fabric, and you can make lots of variations as well. You can mix and match plain printed fabrics. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you like this pattern. If you try, do share with us on Facebook or Instagram. I'll wait for your creations, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Till then, take care. Bye bye.